Yeah, definitely. Me and Sky have always said we'll be on a collision course against each other one day. It's just timing and when it happens, really. I know that fight will come, and when it comes, I'll be ready for it.
Raven Chapman, much like Sky Nicolson, is traversing the WBC route. Raven Chapman, my favorite featherweight next to Amanda Serrano, she's currently in possession of a lesser version of a WBC title, a regional version of the WBC title, and in that way, she actually is on a collision course with Sky Nicolson, though I highly doubt that's going to be Raven's next fight, as the order has already come down from the WBC themselves for Sky Nicolson to share the ring with Sarah Mahfoud. Sky is the WBC interim champion, Sarah is the WBC silver champion, and they're supposed to be fighting at some point next year for the newly vacated WBC title. Thus, where does that leave Raven?
Raven, who took to her social media upon hearing that Amanda Serrano had vacated the WBC title, she tagged Eddie Hearn, she tagged Frank Warren, she tagged the WBC, and she tagged Sky Nicolson.
She's not about to fight Sky Nicolson. She's not about to, I don't think. Not unless Sarah Mahfoud makes the decision to drop out of the ordered fight with Sky. Then maybe we get Nicolson versus Chapman.
I say maybe because where Sky Nicolson is currently ranked at number 1, Raven, for some reason, is ranked all the way down there at 14. I don't even understand that, since in many ways, Raven's quality of competition is actually a bit better than Sky Nicholson's.
There is a lot to unpack here, and it looks like Sky Nicholson's going to be fighting Sarah Mahfoud. Who's Amanda going to be fighting? Unbeknownst to most, the people at Most Valuable Promotions, for many, many weeks now, before this order even came down, before Amanda vacated the WBC title, the people at Most Valuable Promotions have been planning to do a big show in Amanda's native Puerto Rico for all of her hometown fans on her island. What is unfortunate is that, that could have been Sky Nicolson.
Yeah.
If not for the WBC's hardline stance on 12 3-minute rounds in a women's boxing match, that could have been Sky and Amanda.
Yeah, think about it. If the WBC would have played ball the way everybody else did, the WBA, the WBO, and the IBF, if they wouldn't have taken this hardline stance against 12 3-minute rounds in a women's boxing match, there would have been no issues making a fight between Sky and Amanda.
That Puerto Rico show is tabbed to go down in March, so the way it looks, Sky Nicholson's gonna be fighting Sarah Mahfoud. Amanda Serrano's going to be fighting an opponent that is yet to be announced in March, but what about Raven? Where does that leave Raven? Well, Raven, who's ranked at 14 by way of the World Boxing Council, ranked ahead of her is Sophia Leash.
Unbeaten Sophia Leash. That would be an interesting fight, a battle of the unbeatens, though I don't know that Sophie's handlers want to put her in there with someone as risky as Raven Chapman. Ranked ahead of Sophia Leash is former unified multi-weight champion Daniela Bermudez,
the older sister of Evelyn Bermudez, the current reigning unified light flyweight champion. Boxing runs deep in that family, and Daniela Bermudez, she's ranked at number 12.
The former champion is ranked 2 spots ahead of Raven Chapman. A fight between them would be an all-out shootout.
It would be a war, a fan-friendly one, and it wouldn't even be the first time that Raven Chapman has shared the ring with a former champion that hails from Argentina. Lest we forget, she gave Jorgelina Guanini all she could handle. I will say that Daniela Bermudez is a cut above Jorgelina Guanini. She's more decorated, more accomplished, more seasoned, and makes for a good fight. If Raven Chapman and her team so decide to fight her, they're trying to climb up those ranks, and it's jarring that the World Boxing Council has her all the way down there at 14.
I don't understand it.
You have Japan's own Kimika Miyoshi, ranked at number 11. The United States' own Tiaria Brown, ranked at number 10. There are any number of fighters in those rank standings from 13 and up that Raven Chapman can see about fighting to gain some ground in those ranks, to climb up those ranks so that she can effectively corner a fight with Sky Nicolson. By the time she does, Sky may already be WBC champion. Thus, there is more work needs doing for Raven Chapman.
Sky Nicholson's supposed to be fighting Sarah Mahfoud. Amanda Serrano's supposed to be returning sometime in March. Don't know who against. Raven needs to find somebody to fight.
The good news is, there's plenty to choose from. Men's super lightweight news, Bill Haney, the father of Devin Haney, said 2 guys who will expose Shakur Stevenson all the way. Tank and Devin. The way that Bill Haney glorifies Gervonta Davis, who doesn't seem to want to give his son the time of day, it's nauseating because it basically enables Gervonta Davis to do what he's been doing, which is avoiding fighters like his son, while still getting praised. There might be 2 guys on the planet that will expose Shakur all the way, said Bill Haney during an interview with the Boxing Voice. That's Tank and Devin. Tank, otherwise known as Gervonta Davis, has been linked to practically all of the big names in the lightweight division. Stevenson is no different. The Baltimore Star took care of business in his last 2 appearances this year, taking out a pair of Garcias before pulling down the curtains on this year. And the way that Bill is lavishing praise upon him,
it could be that the only reason Bill is doing that is because he's just using Tank to take a shot at Shakur. Shakur, who has an ongoing rivalry with his son. Perhaps a more active rivalry than Gervonta has with his son, since Gervonta, in his son's own words, expressed no interest in facing him, whereas Shakur has been a lot more vocal.
So maybe the only reason Bill is saying this is because he wants to take a shot at Shakur, and he's using Gervonta to do it, along with his son. Bill Haney, unsurprisingly, didn't give out too many details as to why he believes Stevenson isn't on his son and Davis's level. He did, nevertheless, provide the fans with a succinct explanation for his reasoning. Tank, based on his explosiveness, and Devin, based on he's got 2 hands and 2 feet.
I don't think it matters anymore anyway. Shakur Stevenson is in the midst of his lightweight campaign. Devin Haney this weekend will debut at super lightweight, and afterwards, he means to move up to welterweight. They're not in the same division. They're not about to be.
They're not even on the same side of the street. Beyond the Regis Prograis fight, the Haneys have specified that they would be open to moving up in weight and facing the likes of former unified champion Keith Thurman or Mario Barrios.
PBC guys.
You figure that even though this weekend's fight is being promoted by Matchroom, Devin Haney himself has no multi-fight agreement with Matchroom, and if he wins, he may be free to leave. And who he's looking at PBC fighters, PBC guys, which gives you an idea where he might go next. That if he takes care of business with Regis, he'll move up in weight and see about doing business with the PBC moving forwards. The PBC, who are rumored to be going into business with the people at Amazon Prime, and they may make an announcement very soon.
Devin Haney has done a very good job of utilizing free agency to his advantage. He's done good business with Matchroom. He's done business with Top Rank. Now it looks like he wants to do business with the PBC.
What I'm left to wonder about is whether or not the PBC can satisfy Devin Haney's financial demands, because Devin Haney has been making very good money for a very long time now. The PBC going into this deal with Amazon,
can they give him what he wants?
Devin Haney himself says that people love to hate me. I embrace it now because what can I do? I'm me.
I think hate is a strong word. A strong word that's often overused in this day and age whenever you disagree.
Or whenever you say something that somebody doesn't like, whenever you say something that doesn't paint someone in a positive light, they automatically jump to hate.
It's gotta be hate if you don't think that this guy is the best thing since sliced bread, or it's gotta be hate if you think that Devin Haney didn't really win that Lomachenko fight.
It's automatically hate, but I don't actually hate Devin Haney. He's still a skilled young boxer, smart guy. I just don't think he won that fight. Haney has grown accustomed to such harsh criticism in recent years, so much that he thrives off of it. At the end of the day, you know, people love to hate me. Haney told DAZN's Chris Mannix for an off-the-cuff segment that was released recently. You know, I don't know what it is.
The criticism. Sometimes it's just that the guys criticizing Devin are fans of another fighter. Sometimes it's just guys calling a spade, guys telling it like it is. In the case of that Lomachenko fight, I don't think Devin won. And every time I say that, I get at least 1 or 2 guys in the comments moaning about it, expecting my answer to change.
My perspective. Like what they want me to do is pretend that It wasn't controversial that the people in attendance weren't booing, and many of the people at home were calling it a robbery, and not just the people at home, but actual celebrities.
From outside of the world of boxing and inside the world of boxing. You want I should make like none of that happened?
I mean, it is what it is, Haney said during a promotional preview of his showdown with Regis Prograis on December 9th this weekend. I mean, I embrace it now because what can I do? I'm me, you know? It wouldn't be right if they did it any other way. If they were showing me too much love, I'd be like, what's up with these guys? They think I'm not the real deal or something. So it is what it is. They hate the greats, and then after, they respect them and they applaud them. So they can say what they want to say. I know what type of fighter I am, secure in myself, and I'm going to keep beating whoever they put in front of me, one by one.
It's not the end of the world that people think Devin got a gift in the Lomachenko fight. I mean, people still think Julio Cesar Chavez got a gift. In the Pernell Whitaker fight, Oscar De La Hoya got a gift. In the Felix Sturm fight, people still say that Floyd Mayweather got gifts in both the Castillo fight and the Marcos Maidana fight, the first one. Gifts happen.
Some would say that Canelo Alvarez got a gift in the first Golovkin fight, Tyson Fury got a gift in the first John McDermott fight, and another one in the more recent Francis Ngannou fight. It's not the end of the world that people are running around saying these things.
I wouldn't call it hate either. Not always. Not a one-size-fits-all answer. I don't hate Devin Haney. I just don't think he won that fight.
It was definitely a tough fight, Haney told Mannix. It was my toughest fight up to date, but you know, it was a competitive fight, but you know, that's what people get confused at. They say competitive fights in boxing are robberies. They mistake them for robberies, when if it's a close fight, it's not a robbery, you know? Which I definitely feel like I won the fight. I banked a lot of the early rounds, and he had, you know, 2 big rounds that, you know, made a lot of people think that, you know, he did a lot more than he did. But the last round is the round that I needed, and I took it. And I think that people have it in their heads that if you quote cliches enough,
close fights aren't robberies.
But who says it was a close fight? If it were close, people wouldn't be booing when the judges' scorecards were read. The people at home wouldn't be calling it highway robbery. If the fight were as close as Devin makes it out to be, I don't think this many people would have had that reaction afterwards. Keep telling people that close fights aren't robberies. There's your problem. You think it was a close fight. The people that watched it, they think something else. And the fight is done. Nobody's expecting the outcome of the fight to change, but don't expect people's opinions to change either. I know mine's hasn't. As it pertains to this weekend's fight, the defending champion Regis Prograis says there's no fucking way I'm not sleeping Devin Haney. There's a feeling that he has to win by way of knockout given the controversial nature of Devin's last fight, his last victory, that if it goes the distance, the judges are likely going to give it to Devin. 34-year-old Regis Prograis didn't complain, but he has felt disrespected by Team Haney for choosing him, although Prograis could have spent the last few months attempting to figure out why Haney picked him. He shrugged it off and began putting in the work. Now, after taking part in a grueling training camp, Prograis believes that Haney made the biggest mistake of his young career. There's no way Haney's not going to sleep, said Prograis recently on a self-recorded video. Haney isn't moved by Prograis' threats. He simply stares at him stoically as he plans on making him miss and simultaneously making him pay. Devin's got youth on his side. He does seem a little bit taller and a little bit longer than Regis Prograis, but he's not a stronger puncher. That's what Regis has working for him, that he's got power, and power, as they say, power is the last thing to go.
Regis has still got that working for him. He just has to be able to get close enough to Devin to deliver his power, deliver those power shots. Can he do it?
Can Devin Haney, not being the stronger puncher, can he actually keep Regis Prograis out? I came across an interesting soundbite from unbeaten up-and-comer Floyd Schofield, who's sparred both Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney. And this is what he had to say about them.
But Devin, he was the easiest sparring out of all that.
I don't know why y'all don't understand that.
Like Shakur, to me, has no power, but he has more power than Devin.
Much to the chagrin of Devin Haney and Devin Haney's supporters, he's developed a bad reputation for not being able to crack an egg, not having any power. And now that he's moving up in weight, up to 140 pounds to face naturally bigger men, in this instance, a naturally bigger puncher. What you have to question is whether or not Devin can actually keep this guy off and keep this guy out, because he's not Vasil Lomachenko. He's not a fighter who started out as a featherweight and ended up at lightweight. Regis Prograis is, for the most part, a career super lightweight. That's where he's been.
And he's a bigger puncher than Devin. Quite the opposite of Devin. Regis, unlike Devin, has a reputation for being a big puncher. One of the bigger punchers at 140 pounds. So when the man opposite the ring,
I mean, if the guy you're fighting ain't got no power, what's gonna stop you from crowding the pocket, crashing in, and busting him up? This weekend's fight is an intriguing fight because Devin has the right base style for the job, but he's a newbie to this weight, and he's fighting a very big puncher in his debut.
it's ballsy, and I respect it. It's what I mean. I don't hate Devin Haney just because I think he got a gift against Vasil Lomachenko. There's this feeling that unless you act like a cheerleader or an outright sycophant, you're a quote-unquote hater.
Yeah, Riley. How long you been in North Carolina?
Once again, you monkeys is mad. We having a mob dinner. You see what it is. You see what it is. And guess what? Blue is paying for it, so don't ask nothing about nobody giving Blue the money. Blue is taking care of it. Yeah.
Shout out to the super chat.
Yeah. Shout out to all the super chats. Yeah. You know, we
Oysters, shout out to Blue.
Yeah, you see what it is. Shout out to Blue Blood Sports TV.
Bill Haney very recently had a dinner with several prominent content creators here on YouTube that are rumored to be receiving financial incentives in order to run Spin for the Haneys, service as another arm of promotion for them. Spin said in previous years that anyone from promotional outfits to individual fighters will sometimes give content creators financial incentives to run Spin for them, run interference, talk them up, and all that jazz. That does appear to be the case there when it comes to Bill and those content creators.
It's paid promotion, but to their audience, they act like a bunch of sycophants whenever Devin is involved. And unless you do that, you're labeled a quote-unquote hater. But I'd say I don't hate Devin Haney just because he got a gift.
If he takes care of business this weekend and wins in good fashion, I won't deny him his plaudits.
I'll give him credit.
Though I still think he got a gift in the Loma fight. That's not hate.